don't want to do either of those things.
Yeah, but if you had to, though. We set the scene, we have a choice. We must decide on the correct answer. I'm your trustworthy businessman, Kyle.
And I am your always reliable friend, Nathan.
Morning, Nathan.
Good evening, Kyle.
And good
That was a
afternoon.
nice long pour you did there.
There.
You can't see this, lovely listener, but Kyle is pouring coffee and looking at it like it's the most beautiful woman he's ever seen.
It's because I've used this new gizmo. Well, it's not new because I bought it like 4 years ago, but I haven't really used it. I think I used it once and then now I'm
that's
using
what
it again.
makes something new. If you buy something and don't use it, then when you use it, it's new. That's the first fact of the episode.
We're coming in fast.
Fast-firing facts.
It is a coffee plunger machine thing. It's not even a machine. It's literally just a beaker with a stick and a sieve. And you push the sieve down with the stick into the coffee grounds and it sort of filters it out from the water and makes the nice...
Yeah, that's the word that you were missing out. It's a coffee filter.
It's a coffee filter!
You were describing that like it was some alien object that no one in the world could possibly understand.
I'm just trying to... I don't know what I'm trying to do, Nathan. I'm too hyped up on coffee to know.
On your 69th cup of coffee.
The magic number. I'm just going to add milk.
And this is what the listeners listen for.
Yeah, this is a proper ASMR podcast. Let me just do it into the mic. I don't know if that came through, but...
No, I don't think that came through at all. I thought you were going to like whisper something like...
Well, I'll take a nice sip for the audience.
Yeah, so this is us announcing that this podcast is taking a strong turn and is now becoming a coffee review podcast.
Actually, the coffee I'm drinking, it is a Marks and Spencer's Cafe ground coffee that I opened 4 years ago. I was telling Nathan before this podcast. I opened this coffee 4 years ago.
And when he opened it, about 1,000 scorpions did come out of the bag.
Yeah, it was bright green. I opened it 4 years ago, forgot I had it, and then I dug it out for today. And it says on the back of the packet, use within 2 weeks. Now, then I Googled, does coffee go off? And the answer was no. So I'm very confused. So either I'm going to get serious poisoning or nothing's going to happen.
Yes. But there was also that, what written on the back of that packet, the all who open this bag shall be cursed.
Yeah.
Written in blood.
That's what you expect from coffee, though. Like
that is what you expect.
Each different brand gives you a different type of curse. Like one gives you amnesia for a random week of the year. One
turns your arm into an octopus.
Yeah, one gives you rabbit ears.
One will make you deaf, except you hear your own thoughts.
Yeah. One will stop you from being able to pronounce the letter X.
I mean, oh, God, is life even worth living if you can't pronounce the letter X?
I know, the amount of times you want to say xylophone in a day.
I was going to say, when you say pronounce the letter X, do you mean what we just said, the letter X, as in saying the letter X, or do you mean using it in a word?
I would say the letter X. So you can't talk about X-Men. You can't talk about X-rays. No.
Or X-Men or X-rays.
You can't talk about X-ray vision.
This is too far, Carl.
Exactly.
You should never have opened that packet. What have you done?
So contrary to what you might have just heard, this isn't a show about coffee. The premise of this show is that we create scenarios for each other, resulting in 2 possible outcomes. We discuss each outcome's pros and cons and decide definitively on the correct answers.
Exactly. The correct coffee-related answers.
Yes. Both of our scenarios are very heavily coffee-related.
Yes, exactly.
So Nathan, this week, you're brewing your super strong coffee.
My Cafe Grande Extreme Latte Cream X-Ray. Fuck you, coffee. I can say it as much as I want. Stravolosicus.
and you've just ordered this from a coffee shop in America. Because Nathan, you're in America.
Why?
I don't know why it's a shock for you. You're there.
What is this place?
Were you just doing what you imagine the audience to be doing?
No, that's just every time I get off a plane, I'm like, how? What? Where?
You don't understand how air travel works.
No.
You've been travelling around America, seeing all the sights. You've just ordered this massive coffee. You've had a big Slurpee. You've had one of those chimichangas.
I visited that giant wheel of string.
Yes, you've seen all the best attractions that America has to offer.
I went to the farming fields of Kansas and saw the world's biggest turnip.
How was that?
Oh, I mean, amazing. I can't, until you've been through it, Carl, I can't describe it to you.
It has been my lifelong dream to see the world's biggest turnip, I must admit, and I am extremely jealous.
Well, you should be. I mean, you can also see it from space. So either you have to go to Kansas or to space and you will see the world's biggest turnip.
That's something to think about.
So depending on which one's easier for you.
I don't know. I mean, getting to Kansas, you either have to try and get past all of America's security procedures or travel by tornado,
Get caught
I think.
Twister. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Twister, tornado, semantic.
Semantics. I like how our minds both went to the exact same place there. So yeah, you're wandering around this American shopping mall and you see ahead of you your favourite, the best ever car. Because you know how you're a car connoisseur, Nathan.
I mean, I love them with their wheels and their seats.
Windows
And the bits that go vroom vroom.
Exactly.
And they have a button in the front that if you press it goes beep.
Yes, it makes people move out of the way. Fantastic.
When I'm walking down the street and I just yell beep, no one gets out of my way. But when you press the beep button on a car,
exactly,
especially when you're driving on the pavement, people definitely get out of your way.
Yeah, really quickly as well.
Very, very quickly. They grab their children, they jump out of the way. It's beautiful. I'm seeing my favourite car.
You see your dream car, Nathan. You've been dreaming about this car for all of your life. It is beautiful.
I mean, I used to have the toy version in my Barbie Playhouse set.
Yes. It's basically, I'm just imagining the Homer Simpson car, the one he builds, the bubble car. And it does have the horn that does. I
don't know if that's the thing from The Simpsons, but that's what this dream car of mine does.
Oh, 100%.
And the car is wearing a sombrero.
Yeah, so it's like your dream car.
2 different sized wheels.
Yeah, definitely. It even has one of those cow tipper things on the front, so you can mow people down.
Perfect.
But the guy who's in front of it is wearing a cowboy hat, proper American.
And it's also a car. It's also one of those Flintstone cars where I have to put my feet through the bottom and just run.
Yeah. And you go up to him and you say, "I'll do anything. What do I have to do to get this car?" He says, "Well, son, you know what? I'm doing this game where everyone puts their hand on the car, and whoever's
I'll put all the things on the car that you want me to.
If you remove your hand, you're out of the game. Whoever's left at the end with their hand on the car wins the car. How's that sound, boy?"
I say, and then I slam my hand onto the car and hold out my other hand to shake his hand.
So you've got your hand on the car. You've got this in the bag. You can stand for a long time. But then along comes your biggest rival in this competition, the guy who's won every single car in this competition for the past 10 years. Hans Mcgee.
The guy with the world's biggest hands who's always won this competition.
His hands are like magnets. Once he puts his hand on a car, it's not going anywhere.
I don't know if I can beat him, Carl. I don't know if I've got it in me.
Well, let's play this through and see what happens. So,
it's time to play Hands on Car.
Hands on car. So you've both got your hands on this car, and everyone else they all join in as well. But after a little while,
it's like a ridiculous scene in of Twister. We're all like crawled on top of each other. I've got like an old woman standing on my shoulders, her hands on the front of the car.
Yeah, exactly. But one by one, they all disappear, and at the end, it's just you and Hans Mcgee.
I'm looking at him like, bring it on, Hans. You don't know who you're messing with.
He tells you, you know what, mate? And for some reason, he's English as well. Like two Englishmen.
I was going to say, where from America are you, friend?
You know what, mate? Last car I did, I stood there for 26 hours straight. Think you can beat that, do you?
I'm not even standing. I'm kneeling on the floor. I've knelt on the floor for 48 hours straight before.
And that's fantastic. And now, if you'll remember, Nathan, before this, you had a giant thing of coffee, a big Slurpee, and a chimichanga.
I do recall this.
Yeah.
Obviously, none of these things had any effect on me whatsoever, and I win the competition.
You say that, but suddenly you start to feel, I need to go to the toilet really badly.
In the force.
Yeah, and you've still got at least you look at Hans and he's not even breaking a sweat. You know you've got at least 20 hours. Suddenly, your family and that girl you like from work turn up, and they're like, "Oh, you're doing the car challenge, Nathan. We'll support you."
Marjorie Buttersnatch?
Marjorie Buttersnatch, yep. She is there, and she says, I'm going to stay here for the entire time and watch and make sure you win this car. I believe in you, Nathan.
I look at her with my smooth, calm, ladies' man persona, and I say, yes, Marjorie, I will do this for you.
Beautiful. That brings a tear to the eye. This is movie-like.
I mean, my face is an ocean at this point. There's more tear than there is face.
Now, you've got a decision to make, Nathan. You've got one of two options ahead of you. Either you can hold it in for the full 20-odd hours that you've got left, and possibly your bladder will burst at some point, I don't know. So you can either try and hold it in for the next 20-odd hours or so, or you can visibly piss and soil yourself in front of your family and Marjorie Buttersnatch.
My entire family is here. Mum,
yes.
Dad,
Grandma,
Uncle,
Cousin Joe,
Grandma Sweeticums, yeah.
Great Uncle Todd.
Oh, great Uncle Todd. My little cousin, Tiny Timothy.
Exactly.
Who both of his parents, my cousins, they died in a terrible fire, and he's always looked up to me as a hero and an icon.
You can do it, Nathan. I believe in you. I believe. If you can do this, you'll save Christmas.
Oh no, now Christmas is at stake.
Now Christmas is at stake.
I'm now fighting to win a car and Christmas.
So there you go. Those are your choices, Nathan. Either you can try and...
The beautiful, golden-skinned Marjorie Buttersnatch.
Yes. Buttery face. Her face is like butter. It glows and is shining.
She smells of flowers.
Skin yellow like she's got jaundice. Beautiful.
Sweating like she's just had 1,000 buckets of popcorn.
She smells like popcorn too, which is a big turn on for you.
I mean...
So what are your thoughts during this time, Nathan? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that it's bad timing that all my family and the woman I like have just turned up in America randomly. Like, did they all decide...
Hell yeah, your family didn't come with you on a holiday. It wasn't a family holiday at all.
No, I didn't bring them with my holiday, no.
No, they've just randomly turned up in America.
And they all randomly turned up randomly from each other. Like, they all went, oh, hello, I wasn't expecting you. And then another one turns up, oh, hello, little Timothy. Hello,
yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, they were all on separate flights. Some of them sailed across on a boat.
Timothy hitchhiked. He stowed away in a suitcase, and then he hitchhiked in a barrel down the ocean. Then he hitchhiked on the back of a cart.
Yeah, Great Uncle Todd came in a hot air balloon.
Yep. Crazy Grandpa Jeff fired himself from a cannon.
Yeah, that was quite an impressive one, actually.
It was. And we saw him flying through the air. It's like, hello, family. And then we saw him splatter into a building and die.
At least he got to see the giant turnip first, though. Like from that height.
Oh, yes. He saw the turnip.
Yeah.
In fact, he landed on the turnip and then he fell on the floor, just about survived, and the turnip rolled over and crushed him.
It's how he would have wanted to go.
I mean, he's always how he said he wanted to go.
Yeah, but that exact thing, which was very weird,
When me and the family, I remember the Christmas well when I was 10, and we all discussed in the family how we all wanted to and were going to die.
Yeah. You all predicted your own deaths. It's just a family thing that you do at Christmas.
Nana Sweeticums said, I'm going to go down in a blaze of glory, firing her 12 guns into the air.
Tiny Timothy said, I'm going to catch the plague, die in a ditch.
No, actually, Tiny Timothy said goo goo gaga because he'd just been born when I was 10.
Yeah, but you understood it to mean that.
I understood him meaning I would die of the plague in a ditch.
Yes.
And his parents went, yes, son, you will. And then they immediately burst into flames in front of him.
Now, as exciting as your family traditions are, Nathan, I think you're getting away from the
We
situation.
are getting away. So I feel the rumbling, the great disturbance. I know its arrival is imminent. And I can either forcibly hold it in,
yeah,
or just allow it to happen.
Yeah, in front of everyone. Now, what's the longest time you've ever gone holding in your bladder?
Probably my bladder.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I've held in my bladder for, because usually maybe an hour or two. My bowels.
Yeah.
I don't like to do it at work, so probably like a whole work shift, like 8 hours.
So you've trained yourself a little bit then.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like doing those things at work if I can possibly avoid it.
Is it because of the toilet seats, shared toilet seats, or is it just because you don't want to do it at work?
It's because of the shared toilet seats, and usually because they've got like a toilet and people walk past the toilet, and I'm afraid of noises.
Ah, I see, and smells.
Well, it smells, yes, but it's mainly the noise.
Oh, okay. See, my thing about going to the toilet in public would be sharing a toilet seat with random people.
No, see, for me, I don't care who else was there before me. I care that people will know that I'm there now.
To be honest, with you, the more people that have been there, the better. Just warm the seat.
Exactly. For some reason, I agree with you. I don't know why.
You like a warm toilet seat, Nathan. No one can begrudge you that.
Oh, nice and heated, yes, of course. Yeah. That's how you like it.
You like it when Veronica's been on there. Her thighs are so thick.
Her burning hot ass, yeah. and I always make sure I go after Veronica, and
immediately after.
And I immediately walk up to her and go, "Thanks for keeping it warm for me, love."
And she never knows what you mean. She always looks very confused.
Yeah, I know. She has no idea what I'm talking about.
Oh dear, poor Veronica.
She tried to put in a complaint to HR, but she couldn't explain why. But anyway, now we're veering away again.
Yes, sorry.
Yes, it's the bladder that's more of a concern for me. Holding in a number 2 is manageable for a prolonged amount of time, I believe.
Yeah.
But your bladder, I can't hold that in for more than a couple of hours before I'm doing, the weird dance and, tip-tapping around. Like, if I'm not allowed to go, I would have to, slide around the car, keeping one hand on at a time and do a little tap dance around it.
Yeah, that's how you would hide it from Marjorie Buttersnatch. You would just be dancing around, saying, "Oh, I'm just doing a little dance for you, Marjorie."
And as we established, there are people all over this car, so I'm kind of crawling all over them.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just you and Hans. Everyone else is gone. You've beaten everyone else.
This is like 9 hours in. Everyone else has given up. Me and Hans
exactly.
Are the 2 survivors.
You just know that Hans has got another 20 hours in him at least.
Yes. Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see his bladder is made of steel.
Yeah, that's what he says. That is what's printed on his T-shirt. I have a bladder of steel.
And then underneath, literally, I was in a terrible accident as a child. It was very traumatic. Don't ask me about it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would think that that's sort of cheating, but then you can't actually say to him, "Oh, you can't participate because you've got a bladder of steel," because that's just offensive.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a burden he's had to live with his whole life that people have misjudged him because of his bladder of steel. So let's think through the repercussions here. If I were to hold my bladder and my bowels for 20 more hours,
Yes. Would you
there
do
would be
irreparable damage?
that's possible. Also, within that 20 hours, I would make increasingly weird faces.
Yeah.
So, is my Marjorie's opinion of me may fall, and Timothy may lose his hero.
But would their opinion be better seeing you make loads of weird faces or seeing you soil and piss yourself?
Would it be better if they saw me scrunch up my face every now and then go,
and as soon as you win, dash off
and just fart and have a little fart every like 45 minutes?
Yeah, you'd have to try and do like silent ones so as not to upset Marjorie.
Or would it be worse if I just allowed it to fire out of me like a cannonball?
Yes.
And
soak the front of your trousers or pants, seeing as you're in America.
Yeah. Well, my kilt, actually.
Oh, you're wearing a kilt. Wonderful.
Yeah. Just cause.
Why not? Why not? When in America, wear a kilt. That's what they say. Another fact for the episode. Common phrase.
Exactly. Which of these do I think would have a worse impact on my friends, my family, and the beautiful, radiant Marjorie Buttersnatch?
Yes.
Because yes, if I were to hold it in indefinitely, I may damage my bladder forever and have to wear an adult nappy for the rest of my life.
That's
have
possible.
A catheter, or just have a tube connected to my backpack, so that I've got a catheter that's connected to my backpack. So I'm walking around. It's all the wires are all underneath my clothes, so no one can notice. I'm walking around with a backpack, and everyone thinks I've got stuff in there. Oh, you got in your backpack? Oh, work documents, and it's just filled with piss.
God, a thief would be screwed if they tried to rob your backpack off you.
I mean, if they tried to rob it off me, they would pull it out of me, and that would they basically rob me as well.
Yeah,
they'd be running away with the bag, and I'd be dragged along the floor screaming, "My penis! It hurts! No!"
They're just carrying away this jostling bag of piss.
Connected to a man.
This is the worst thief ever.
Would I prefer that to just going in front of the friends family? And let's not forget the fact here that I would then have to continue and remain in this position for 20 hours.
Yeah, and Hans Mcgee would be laughing at you the entire time. He's not a nice person.
I think to defeat Hans Mcgee, I will hold it in.
You're going to hold it in for a full 20-odd hours?
Yes.
That
no
is
matter
impressive.
what the consequences are.
Yeah.
Like I'll be sweating, wincing, squinting my eyes so much that one of my eyeballs actually pops out of my skull, and just constantly doing an Irish jig around the car.
Interestingly enough, what actually happened in the end was Hans Mcgee pissed and shit himself, ran away in shame. You won, instantly passed out. You were feeling very faint at the end there. You were going delirious, going a bit mad. You faint, pass out, you wake up in the hospital, and you now have a steel bladder yourself. Your bladder exploded, and you now have a steel bladder.
Is it the Chromium 9000? I've been after that model for years.
Oh, you know it is. Top quality. And also, the car is yours. You've saved Christmas. This is the best result ever.
I wake up, see all my family, I see Marjorie, and then I look over in the corner, little Timothy sitting just like, will he wake up? He is!
Christmas is saved! Marjorie Buttersnatch kisses you full on the mouth. Not on the cheek, not on the head.
On the mouth?
Yes. It's like the fairy tale ending you've always wanted.
Oh, yes, I remember those fairy tales where a man doesn't piss and shit himself.
To win a car.
And gets the girl in the end. It's like
exactly.
A tale as old as time.
It is. And
I can just imagine Angela Lansbury singing about it. I have now got both the steel bladder and the world's coolest car. It's the shape of a sausage, it's wearing a sombrero hat, 2 different sized wheels, some fireworks attached to the back. It is actually covered in aluminium itself, so it reflects light and blinds everyone that I'm driving around with.
And
but also the insides are made of aluminium, and it blinds me as you're driving inside of it. So you always have to wear cool, sick ass sunglasses.
Nice.
Nice.
And you and Marjorie Buttersnatch drive away in the sausage car into the sunset.
No, we drive away and the car starts to fly up and away as everyone behind is waving at us.
And you turn to Marjorie. We don't need roads where we're going, baby. Zoom off into the sky.
I was thinking Greece. You were thinking Back to the Future. Doesn't Greece end with the car randomly flying for no reason?
Does it, Jake? That does seem
I
right,
swear,
yeah.
Greece ends with them driving, and then suddenly this perspective turns, and it looks like they're flying away from everyone.
Which makes absolutely no sense in context of the rest of the film.
Unless they also had the what's the name of the car?
The DeLorean.
The Delibrian. And yes, me and Marjorie have never been happier.
Good.
She's always wanted a man with a steel bladder. I mean, wouldn't every woman?
He's taken, ladies.
Damn it, that didn't make the ting sound effect I wanted it to. Ting! Yep, that's the sound of my bladder, ladies.
This is what the people listen for. Inane ridiculousness. I mean, it's usually...
They've all been waiting for.
This podcast is usually pretty ridiculous, but this episode has just been so nonsensical. I can only just keep up with what's going on.
Well, you have had a hard time keeping up, Carl, because you too have had an eventful week.
I have indeed.
You, Kyle, were out in the woods, in the wilderland, building yourself hats out of squirrels.
Yep, building. I like how you say building.
Yeah, you got the screwdriver out and just screwed squirrels together until it made a hat. You know,
yeah,
that's hat science. That's another fact for you.
That's
how
fact for the
hats
episode.
are made. Every hat that's ever been made has been from 2 squirrels being put together like a what's that horrible film called?
Oh, Human Centipede.
Yep. Your hat is a squirrel centipede.
A squirrel centipede.
They are all writhing in pain as they have to defecate in each other's mouths, and you've got them in a loop, so every single one of them is attached to a butt.
I wouldn't have my hat any other way.
That was the fault. That was the mistake of the actual human centipede. There was always one person at the front who didn't have a butt attached to his mouth.
No,
whereas you've created the perfect circle.
Yes. See, I've improved on the human centipede.
And yes, so you were out there building these beautiful hats when you discovered something that you'd never seen before. A house made entirely of cheese.
Cheese, Gromit.
Yes, Wallace. Cheese. And not just any cheese, your favourite kind of cheese.
Gorgonzola?
Gorgonzola, yes. Godzilla Zola cheese. And outside of this beautiful, immaculate, lovely smelling house is a sign made out of bones that said free cheese.
Free cheese. Does it have like turrets of cheddar and breadstick windows?
You know it.
Oh.
The sign also says 100% safe. Definitely not a trap.
Then I began eating to my heart's content.
Oh, you don't even go inside the house. You just start eating the house.
I just start eating the house itself, chomping big chunks out of this house.
So you're eating the turrets of, what did you say it was?
Turrets of cheddar.
Turrets of cheddar, the breadsticks, the gorgonzola, the gorgonzola mortaring, the
mozzarella ball door handle.
Yep. What's the carpet made of?
Carpet's obviously made of Stilton.
The Stilton carpet. So that's how you enter that house. You're crawling on all hands, eating the carpet.
Just taking mouthful. Because when I eat cheese, I don't just want a little bit of cheese. I want to gorge myself.
Yep. You crawl in on hands and knees, eating the Stilton carpet, and then you see to your delight in the corner a mountain of crackers.
Perfect. Just the thing I need to wash down all this cheese. A mountain of crackers.
And obviously, you run head forwards towards the crackers without looking at anything around it whatsoever.
Certainly not. I dive into the crackers.
And you hear a twang as you notice that you went past a little string, obviously made out of stringy cheese, and
Of
a
course.
stick made out of sticky cheese.
Was it a cheese twist?
Yes, my cheese knowledge is already betraying me. But when suddenly a cheese box falls on you and you are trapped.
Hey, what's going on? Who put this box on me? Give me more cheese. I demand it.
And yet, hard as you try, you cannot eat your way out of this cheese box. It is pure, solid, indestructible steel cheesonium.
Who made this box? This isn't cheese. Let me out instantly.
But there is a little gap in the cheese of transparent cheese, glass cheese.
Oh, of course, yes, the cheese melange.
Cheese melange, and you see through it.
Yeah.
Elderly woman.
An elderly woman. Excuse me, elderly woman, can you let me out of this box, please? I seem to have trapped myself.
Her head is face downwards as she walks towards, and then suddenly she puts her hands up against the cheese melange window, and then her face, and you see that her face is covered in wrinkles and scars and dark black veins, and her eyes are glowing red. And she says, "Why, hello, child."
I'm 33.
Hello, old man.
I'm younger than you, surely. Not to be offensive.
Hello, young man. Why don't you shut up? I see you've fallen for my trap.
Wait a second. Is this a trap?
It is a trap.
I'm starting to add two and two together now.
Yep. That sign outside that said definitely not a trap may have been misleading.
Yeah, just slightly.
False advertising.
Yeah.
You could sue her if you weren't trapped.
Yeah, if only I weren't trapped. But I'm trapped.
If only you weren't trapped. I mean, obviously you tell her this.
Yeah. I would sue you if I wasn't trapped in this box, woman.
You will never escape.
That's pretty presumptuous of you. I'm quite wily.
And then she presses a button that opens a trap door made of cheese that you fall down.
No. So I'm in a box and now I'm falling down a trap door. What else is she going to do to me?
You fall down a chute made of cheese.
Yeah.
And you land in an open area underground. And you see there are only two ways out. And you hear her voice come through the cheese intercom.
Is it just like a little baby bell with some holes in it?
Yes. But it's unrolled and like there's the baby bell wrapping coming down to where you are.
Oh, of course.
Ha! Now you are mine. There are only two ways out of this place, and no one has yet to get out alive.
I'm just so full of cheese right now. I don't
know. Yeah,
you
start a couple of times.
Yeah.
And obviously you're surrounded by, like, you land on a platform made of cheese that you start eating.
Yeah, even though I'm trapped and I know this is a bad situation, my cheese lust is just too great.
Even though you know that you probably need to move fast, you're still loading yourself up on really heavy cheeses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost in a cheese coma. I'm so, like, drunk on cheese, I can barely move, but still I'm stuffing it into my maw.
So she laughs. There are only two ways out. Either you escape through the greatest and most confusing hedge maze in existence, or, and she points to a hedge maze that clearly was built on a quantum singularity.
Singularity?
That's it.
Try again.
A quantum singularity. A quantum singularity. Yes, that thing. A big whirling black hole where you know the laws of time, physics, and space don't abide. Or, and she points to the other direction, through the universe's greatest obstacle course, and you see a railway a track with roller skates with little rockets on the back that leads to a ring of fire with lasers, a laser maze inside of the ring of fire. So there's only the tiniest little gap that you could get through. Past that is a moat with jumping suicide bomber piranhas. Past that are a giant whack-a-mole where it's actual real moles with boxing gloves who actually pop out of the ground and punch you. Past that is ninja hedgehogs, and just on and on and on and on. Like the most, you can't see to the end of this. It goes on forever. But it is the greatest obstacle course imaginable. Whereas the most confusing hedge maze is obviously a maze where the laws of time and space will not abide, and you will walk past. You'll walk down a corridor and end up falling upwards towards the ground. You'll walk and you'll find yourself face to face with you from the beginning of the maze, and then you from the end of the maze, an old destitute man lost and alone. You'll go in and you'll end up in a universe where the laws of physics are, the air is like sludge that you have to swallow, and you have to swim through the air. And then you go down another corridor, and suddenly you can hear the thoughts of all molecules around you, and just constantly, as all of the laws of reality twist every corridor you go down of. And obviously it's still a hedge maze, so you have to find your way out of that as well.
Yeah, and I'm not very good at hedge mazes, so
yes, these are your only escape from the crazy witch lady and the house made of cheese.
Yes,
who is going to eat you anyway. Like she just said, she said that as well. She said, like, now that you're nice and full of cheese, you're like a lovely cheese sandwich. Like you're a lovely meat cheese sandwich. You know, meat surrounding cheese. It's her favourite thing to eat.
See, it was a silly thing to eat the cheese. I'm realising now in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have eaten so much cheese. I've fattened myself up for her.
You say that as you goggle down a few more bites of cheese. Like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten the cheese. It wasn't a good idea to eat.
Yeah, I mean, I do spend a good, like, however long I've got before she comes to eat me, eating cheese before I make my decision. I mean, I wait till the last possible moment.
You're on the ground. In front of you are two directions, two like hallways you can go down, and behind you, suddenly you feel heat. As a giant oven is opened up, and a conveyor belt is moving along the ground, and the oven is moving towards you. So you have maybe 20 seconds to choose to go down one of these halls before the oven reaches you, and you are trapped inside a giant cooking oven.
And I will get cooked and eaten like a meat cheese sandwich. Obviously, the conveyor belt
is made of cheese, and the oven is made of cheese. But it's strong. The heat is only making the cheese stronger.
Yes, of course. Oh, it's proper strong cheese, is it?
Exactly. It's like Chedium 90.
Oh, Chedium 90. That's
the cheese that was found in the centre of the earth a million years ago.
Exactly.
The cheese that killed the dinosaurs.
The very cheese itself. She's mined it from the Earth's core. So yeah, I need to make a decision quickly. So I can either go into an impossible obstacle course that sounds absolutely insane, or get lost in a incredibly crazy maze. Like, it's just a hedge maze.
Which of the skills do you think is better? Your acrobatic, dodging skills, or your puzzle-solving skills? Bear in mind, both of these are literally impossible.
Yeah, neither really. I mean, I'm not that athletic. I don't do much exercise.
The greatest athlete in the world, and Sherlock Holmes, would not be able to get through these puzzles and obstacle courses.
No, so I'm probably going to suffer anyway. So which one would be the least amount of suffering? Would it be...
Well, you want to give yourself a chance. Which one do you think you have the best chance of escaping through?
Well, I don't think I could do either, because I'm not incredibly intelligent and I'm not incredibly athletic. But I'm thinking, with the obstacle course, I would get beaten and pummeled and knocked around a lot.
Yes,
and that would be
suicide piranhas would jump up and explode, and shrapnel would dig into you. Whereas in the puzzle, the maze, you would just end up baffled and confused. It would be like watching a Christopher Nolan film while on drugs.
Exactly. So it's either physical torture or mental torture.
Yes.
Now, these
You'd
are
walk
my
back
two
and go,
options.
wait, how is that possible? Where did they come from? What? But the box was empty. It was empty.
And then it turns out that I was the witch all along and I've done this to myself.
Exactly. Yes, you walk down a hallway and you see the witch walk towards you in a mist, and then suddenly she turns up and you see your own face.
Yeah.
And then you walk down another hallway and you see your mother as the witch. But then it was your father. And then it was little Timothy, my nephew.
What is your little nephew doing in my weird mental
Hey,
dreamscape?
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And then the giant turnip is there for no reason whatsoever.
Even and it turns to you and goes, "Run, Kyle, run!" And suddenly the maze is like the ground is moving, forcing you to run in the maze.
Yeah, and then suddenly I'm being chased by Mcgee.
Exactly.
He's got his giant hands reaching out like tendrils trying to grab at me. This is terrifying, Nathan. So
whereas
again,
the obstacle course would be you jumping through lasers, fire, an asteroid belt, like an asteroid strike. What's it called when multiple asteroids hit the Earth? When asteroids go bad.
A meteor shower.
Meteor shower.
So
I was trying to think, like, it's not called an asteroid shower, is it?
No. So yeah, we're saying basically when we boil it down, it's physical torture, mental torture, and which one would be preferable?
A physical test or a mental test?
Yeah. So did I do better in PE or maths? I think, Nathan, because I'm terrible at PE, I hate exercise, I'm going to have to go for the mental torture. Like, I won't be physically hurt, so that will make me happy. I know I'm going to be mentally scarred, and I'm going to go insane in this maze. But
you will I say within half an hour, but actually, because of the quantum singularity, it's actually been 5 billion years.
Yeah.
And you see the universe form, reform. You learn the mysteries that man was never meant to know, but they make no sense. And then suddenly you're back where you are, and you're not certain if what you just saw was a dream or not, except there's a little spinning top on a table. And you think, hey, that should be spinning because I started spinning that in the dream.
Oh, no. And then it's like I'm sitting here doing this podcast with you, but am I really?
Yeah, exactly. You're sitting here doing a podcast with me, and then suddenly I give you your scenario, and I go, but now you, Carl, are trapped in a maze, and suddenly the world shifts around you, and the green hedges turn up again, and my face turns into a tree that you were talking to.
It's insane. Like, and during this podcast, suddenly I'm you talking to me and giving me the scenario as you.
Yes.
It's so.
And then you encounter yourself in the future, but he tries to kill you and you have to run from him. And then later on, you encounter yourself in the past and you realize why you were trying to kill yourself, because you know your past self is going to kill your future self.
Like, it literally makes no sense whatsoever. But there are people online who guarantee that they know exactly what this is all about.
Yes. I mean, you do pass some of her previous victims, and they do like grab at you while they're in their straitjackets, spinning on the clock, going, "I know the answers. It all makes sense if you just pay attention to this one scene."
It explains absolutely everything.
Do you remember the bunny? The bunny. He said, "If you just move in the other way," and I know what that means. I know what it means.
You've got to do everything backwards, but not really backwards. You've got to do it forwards backwards.
And then as he's saying that, he then walks backwards, and then he says everything that he just said to you backwards.
Yeah, and then he turns into a giant chessboard, and then I'm suddenly playing chess. It's crazy. So yeah, Nathan, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter mental torture for possibly an eternity if I can't find my way out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you did find your way out because you're talking to me right now. We're doing the podcast, everything's absolutely fine, and you've escaped. You're absolutely fine, Carl. Everything is fine. You can relax. Enjoy your coffee.
Nathan, you're a bunny rabbit. You're a giant bunny rabbit. What's going on? No, wait, you're me.
Stars are burning, Kyle. They're twisting and burning around you.
Anyway, Kyle, let's finish off the show and sort this thing out. So yeah,
The choices you make define you.
So yeah, that's everything worked out perfectly, Kyle.
yes, Kyle, everything worked out just right.
Yes. No, if you've given us so you have chosen to enter the impossible puzzle,
I have indeed,
and obviously you escape because
obviously I escaped because I'm here now, and this is reality, and everything's fine, and we're all safe.
Yeah,
and no one has to worry.
Nothing to worry about.
If you enjoyed this episode of this totally real existing podcast, then you can let us know in the comments, and you can watch and listen and do other things. I'm terrified, Nathan. I'm terrified right now. I can't even do the end spiel. I can't even do the end spiel. Follow me on Twitter at Kyle M. Bennett, Kyle_M_Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's.
And you can follow me at N Wozniak Art, which is N for Nathan, WOZNIAKART. And you can follow me on Instagram at Nathan Wozniak, spelled like Nathan, and then spelled like Wozniak, which is what I just spelled a minute ago.
But if you spell it backwards, it will actually be written forwards.
You were never free in the first place, Kyle.
You've always been in this maze since the day you were born.
That's what my name says backwards if you spell it backwards.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, all makes sense. That's fact number 3 for this episode, is that you were never free, Carl. You're always trapped and you'll always be trapped. Actually, all you are here for Fender as it is here. You'll always be trapped. You'll always be trapped. You'll always be trapped.
Sorry, Nathan. I think I zoned out for a moment there.
Yeah, I think you got distracted. You're clearly thinking about coffee and cheese.
Coffee and cheese and the giant turnip.
Yep. Kyle and the giant cheese and the giant turnip.
That's what the film's going to be called.
Mm.
Hans Mcgee will be there looming over me with his giant tendril-like fingers.
Directed by Christopher Nolan.
Fantastic.
Though to had you if is this Kyle I'm
Nathan bin Ivan.
And we're just here in the normal world where everything's fine. And your insides aren't twisting inside out inside of a black hole.
This is what happens when you drink super gone-off coffee that's 4 years old.
And eat an entire house made of cheese.
Yeah, that combination just messes with the entire universe and now everything's screwed. This has been If You Had To, though. I have been Kyle.
And I am...